All right, what's up, folks? Welcome to Foreign and Domestic. It is good to be here. Happy Easter to everyone out there. And Mr. Chico Wise, it's been a while since we've had you, brother. If you would, could you get us started off right with the pledge?
Definitely. Y'all ready? Can you hear me? Okay, we're gonna go with it. I don't know if I'm buffering or not. So I pledge allegiance to the flag of one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, awesome, awesome, awesome. Took a second for us to hear
I'm
it, but
buffering.
it went through. It's all good, brother.
Yeah, here I was wondering if it was my audio because I've got some minor technical malfunctions going on, but so far the participants list is showing the YouTube auditor. Happy Easter to you, Andy 79 Z28, CW Tactical Fud, Tim S, Mark Thomas, Warsaw, Thoughts of an Old Soldier, Terragami. Yeah, this got some minor technical things going on. Good to see some people being able to come out on the Easter
things go on.
Hello and happy Easter to everybody.
All right, good deal, good deal. Jamie, how you doing, brother? How was your Easter?
Absolutely wonderful. My daughter came to church with me this morning, as well as Rigby, and Rigby actually sat with me this morning after we played, and then we went to my dad's and we had dinner with him: fried chicken, coleslaw, green beans. Gotta love that good old Southern food, I'm telling you.
Yummy.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Sounds delicious. Good deal. Kingpin, what's going on, brother?
You guys know it. Same old thing. Good to see everybody. Thanks for having me.
We saw a range video from you today. What's up with that?
Yeah, there's a certain Russian that we hang out with that was talking all kinds of trash in my last review video about how I never do any shooting videos and comparing me to some guy named Yankee Marshall, whoever that is. So I just had to prove that I'm not him.
Good deal. You're not even close. We know that.
Not even close. But I do think that you mispronounced it. I think its name is the Wanky Marshall.
Oh yeah, I've heard that too. Now I recognize the name.
Mr. 45 Colt.
This is 45 Colt. Oh, happy Easter, everyone. Scotsman, thanks for the link. I appreciate it. Good to see everybody on the panel and in the chat tonight. Went to the range today with Mrs. Hot Pot and broke it in. Had a good day.
Good deal. So, Chico, how you doing, man? You been busy?
He's playing mannequin again.
Yeah, he's got some buffering going on. There's Clover.
So what is the deal
Definitely.
with the resurgence? All
Definitely
of a sudden,
been busy.
massive resurgence of the 45 Colt. It's like
sun keeps
everybody
me
on
busy,
YouTube
I'm
wants a
told.
45 Colt now.
Dang it. You know what? I probably got to cut off the camera. That's what. Yep, I've been good. I hope y'all hear me. I appreciate the link, brother.
I don't know what it is. I just I was going through my brass and I got a total of 76 pieces of brass. I missed 5. So I just end up with that much brass. So I just thought, well, you know what? Might want to get something to match this. It's kind of like having, the right shoes with the right hat.
I agree, Clover. 45 Colt is OG.
I did a little homework on it, and that's going to be in my video coming up. There's a little history on it, too.
I love history. Do tell.
Yeah, I'll wait for the video.
Clover's bringing up the 4440. Now, I've heard you guys talk about it. Is that another straight wall? I guess, is that a big bore count? Like, what is the 4440?
.4440 is a slight bottleneck, and it came out around the same time as the 45 Colt. I believe a little bit after. I'm not sure about that, the exact timing, but it is a slight bottleneck cartridge, and it seems like it's about a 45 case. And CW's out there. He can correct me, but seemed like it's a 45 case bottleneck down to 44. And there's really, as far as bullet diameter is concerned, there's a pretty good difference between 44 and 45. 45 Colt runs a 4.52 to 4.54, and 44 is 4.29 to 4.31 diameter. So it's really not a 44, it's a 43. And it got real quiet.
Is that a rifle round? Is that a revolver round? Is that a semi-auto round?
It's definitely not semi-auto. It's a rimmed case like a 45. It's 4440 can be used in revolvers and pistol caliber carbines like 44, 45 Colt.
Well, if it's Clover Tack talking about 4440, I almost thought there for a minute that might be the fuel mileage he's getting out of his smart car.
Oh, don't tell me he's got one of those dang smart cars.
471 base to 443 mouth, he says. Great information.
Okay.
I don't know, but that 45 long Colt, that's I might be looking into a lever gun to match that now.
It was sweet, man.
Out of a rifle, dude, it's awesome. Thanks to our wonderful kingpin right here. I have the pleasure of shooting one, and it's freaking sweet.
Is that ammo? Is that? I'm gonna assume that those are large rifle primers when you reload something like the 45 Colt.
Large pistol.
Large pistol.
Large pistol.
Yeah. And like with the ones I'm going to be doing versus Mr. 45 Colt over there, mine's going to be more of a cowboy load just because I have to watch the feet per second in the revolver. It's not as heavy or duty frame.
Now, I'll tell you what, Scotsman, with the loads that I did today or yesterday and then shot today, I think the highest I got was 903 on the FPS.
Okay.
And most of them averaged right, it's the high 800s.
Okay.
850, 870. So they weren't bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably going to play with a couple different powders. We'll see.
Yeah, I played with Bullseye, Tight Group, and Unique.
All right.
Well, and you actually took a chrono to it.
Yes. Yeah, that'll be in the video too on the range part of it.
Okay. Well, the YouTube just wants to know when you're going to pull a Chico on that chrono.
It's new. I've only had it out to the range twice. Let me get at least 3 times out of it before I blow it up.
How do you shoot a chronograph? Honestly, like I've never shot through, and I've never shot through a chronograph, but I've been on the bay where the guy next to me's had one. I've seen plenty of videos where you guys set them up and shoot. I just don't understand, especially if you're going from a bench rest, how you can possibly shoot your chronograph.
Because the trajectory of the bullet at that close range is a lot lower than your sights. So if you're aiming straight through it, there's a chance you might nip the top of your chrono. So
Okay, that makes sense. I didn't take into consideration how close it was to the end of the barrel. That's a good
Yeah,
call.
you generally got to have it fairly close to you. It doesn't have to be super close, but fairly close.
10 feet.
You do have a little bit more of the trajectory you got to watch. Now, knock on wood, I've only shot the side of it. I've never shot the actual main body, so technically, I still haven't shot one yet. Knock on wood. I just shot the metal arm. I'm good. The metal arm doesn't do anything, so I'm good.
Yeah, it needs to be between 10 and 15 feet away from you. And the difference between your line of sight and the bullet trajectory at that close is, yeah, CloverTac says 7 to 10 feet. I'd have to read my instructions, but
yeah, mine said about 10 feet. So I kind of eyeballed it off with 10 feet.
Yeah.
I might have been 11 or so, but I'm right in that area.
It does make a little bit more sense, especially if you're looking through an optic and like not down iron sights. How you could, your optic's in a different position than the barrel, so that makes a lot more sense. I get it now. I get it a little bit now.
With a scope kingpin, it's worse because things that are closer to you and in the peripheral of the scope don't even show up. So, yeah. One deer I missed was because I had a branch in front of me that the scope wasn't picking up because it was so close. And I'm like, there is no way I missed that deer. And of course, it was about 100 yards, but still, And then I looked up, and there's a branch swinging right there. So yeah, it happens, man. There's Mr. Bulldog. What's up? Happy Easter, brother.
Yeah, I gotta get a new one. My the current one that we have, I left it with Daniel. Daniel was in charge of making sure it stayed good and all that. And the last time we used it, which we haven't used it in a while now, but the last time we used it, no matter what we shot through it, it's at the same number.
Is that one you nipped?
That was the one I nipped, but I nipped the side. I didn't nip the actual body. I only nipped the arm. And it was still working fine after.
I was shooting with mine one day on the 4th of July, as a matter of fact, and it was hot and it was out in the sun, and I was running some 38 special test loads, and it was giving me 264 feet per second.
Dubs, weren't you?
Were
Jamie
you throwing the bullets through the chrono, or?
I'm like,
yeah, we were shooting 9mm and 45, and basically every one that came up said between 14 and 1600 feet per second.
And you're shooting cowboy 45s, yeah. That might be a little off. Like that, for example, that particular day we were shooting a PPH 44, I think did. Am I saying PSH? PPSH? Anyway, 7.62 by 25, 27, whatever it is. Um, y'all know the gun I'm talking about? No?
No.
I'll find it and share it with you. I'll find a picture in a minute. But while we were shooting in the shade and the chrono was in the shade, it was giving us accurate readings, 12 to 1,300 feet per second with that particular gun and that particular cartridge. And yeah, sun come out, uh, and of course the sun moves too. So we're out in direct sunlight with that Caldwell chronograph, and I'm shooting 38 special and even 44 Magnum loads were giving us below 300 feet per second readings. So they're not always right.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was somewhere around 1460, 14.6 something in every shot. I'm like, there's no way. Absolutely no freaking way. I don't even remember what the hell I shot the damn sidearm with.
So you say that chrono is supposed to be excuse me, sorry about that. The chrono is supposed to be, say, 10 feet away from the end of your barrel. Is that some type of scientific reason? Like, is that where the bullet is traveling at its fastest when it comes out of the barrel, or is that after that point is that when it starts to do stuff like yawing and tumbling and different stuff like that? What's the significance of?
Yeah, if you put it too far away, you're not going to get an accurate reading of what's coming out of the muzzle. You're looking for your muzzle velocity. If you put it too far away, it's going to start slowing down.
Plus, you don't want to put it too close because the blast would deviate the numbers to a certain extent.
Yeah, you'll be reading carbon feet per second instead of the lead projectile.
Well, how close is too close then?
I think
6 feet, 5
Yeah.
feet.
Yeah, so every manufacturer, I'll tell you about mine. This what happened with mine. I went to the manufacturer's tee, and I want to say it said 15 yards, and I put that dang thing at 15 yards, that's a significant distance with a pistol. But what happened with mine, I switched from my hand loads to a factory load to compare, and that factory load was a little bit probably slower, or it dropped a little bit. So, but I put it at the max distance, which I learned later I shouldn't have done that. I should have put it about at 10 yards, where I had it probably 15 yards at least.
I have not compared my my reloaded 9mm to factory 9mm. I mean, I've got mine loaded as far as power factor for USPSA and IDPA shooting. I haven't done a comparison of it yet, but I haven't had the chrono very long either.
Yeah, Clover said, 15 feet. I say 2.4. Yeah, so it's got to be kind of like that sweet spot, I think. But every manufacturer specifies.
Well, wouldn't it more depend on the ammunition? Because a 338 is going to have more gases coming out the end of the barrel than a 5.56 than a 22.
Yeah,
right. I mean, is that correct?
I would agree.
So would you want to set it farther out for rifle than you do for handgun? Do handgun at 10 feet, rifle at 15, 20?
I would say probably whatever you're comfortable with. You don't think you're going to shoot it.
Set it out at 200 yards, right below the target.
Yeah.
My 3-gun AR, I got a 45-degree offset red dot. That's only just for 10 to 25 feet. Just for close up shooting. So I probably want to use that.
So here's a picture of the PPSH 41, used by Russia in World War II. And, shoots the 7.62 by 25, I think's what it is.
That is mean looking.
It is, ain't it?
Just pulling that out should end everything. All conflict.
Yeah, that drum magazine is a bear. It's hard to get them right and get them to run right, but the stick magazines work much better.
Yeah, my friend's got a replica Thompson and an original Thompson, and the original Thompson it's fun to shoot, but man, you only want to take it out every once in a while because loading that drum barrel is a pain in the neck.
It
If you
is.
ever have to take one of those drums apart, it is a huge pain in the ass. I highly recommend don't doing it.
Yeah, I would highly recommend get you about 5 or 10 stick magazines and just be happy. You know.
So, what would you guys say is more accurate? Would you say that the chronographs are more accurate when you're looking through your notebooks and comparing notes and your recipes, or do you find your scales to be more accurate? Or is it kind of hard to tell how accurate your scale is because you can't really measure the amount of bang that goes off, I guess you could say.
I mean, your scales are going to be close to what your weights are, what you think they are, and stuff like that. And then as far as getting your feet per second, it really kind of breaks down to figuring out your powder per your weight. And it's playing scientist is basically what it is. You're playing scientist. And then the chrono is just to try and get you an average so you know roughly where you're at compared to what the book says. Because you're not going to be, it's rare that you ever end up saying what the book says. You'll be close, but it's rare you ever actually get the same as what the book says.
I saw a video where Gavin Tube was comparing what he was getting with his lab radar as compared to the expected velocities that Quick Loads was giving him, and he was within 5 feet of each other. So he was dead on with his lab radar. I don't have a lab radar. I got a cheap Caldwell.
So for those of you that don't know, a lab radar is about $500-$600. They're not cheap. They're very accurate, but they are not cheap. And you set them at the side of you. You don't set them in front of you. So there's less chance you're going to shoot it. You shoot that, you got major problems.
Yeah, it's neat, but even that's not perfect. There's some of the guys that own them are finding something to gripe about. I guess we can always find something to gripe about, particularly if you're inclined to be one that gripes about stuff. But Tactical Fud's talking about magneto speed. I find that magneto speed to me is, I kind of would like to have one to try, but then again, you got that weight hanging off the end of your barrel. And of course, that's not going to be good for accuracy at all, but if you're testing for speeds. And this is what my thinking is. If you're working up loads for a pistol, whatever, just go with what Quick Loads is telling you and take them out and chronograph them 1 or 2 times and see what your extreme spreads and standard deviations are, and see if you need to tighten up your processes in some way or another. Go to another powder, whatever. But for long range rifle stuff, you need to get out there and chrono them and get that extreme spread and stuff as low as you can if you're going to depend on it to shoot way far out there.
So Tim S had a great question. Any way to judge test runs without a chrono? So as far as feet per second, nothing that I could really tell you of that I know of. However, you can check different things. You can check for pressure signs, accuracy nodes. You can still get all of that kind of stuff without having to use a chrono.
No, no, no. You gotta to give them the correct information, Scotsman. Come on, man. What you gotta do is you gotta build a 100-yard shooting range, and then you've got to build walls on either side and paint little tiny lines, vertical lines, all the way down the 100 yards. Then you need to spend about $11,000 in high-speed cameras and hire a camera crew. So next time you go to the range, you can get super duper high-speed, slow motion cameras to get all that stuff for you. Real simple, real easy. Probably do it in a weekend.
Bam, there you go, Tim.
That's the way Remington did it back in the day, around the turn of the century. That's exactly what they did.
And nowadays you can make a penny or two off of YouTube with those videos.
Look at all look this good more and more benefits just rolling in. And then look at the bright side. When you make 2 or 3 pennies, then YouTube can demonetize it and delete the video.
Look, next chronograph I get, I'm not gonna worry about shooting it.
There you go. We got the protector.
This is bulletproof glass that I pulled out of Brink's truck. So yeah, because that was $100, $100 mess up that I didn't enjoy for the first time out. But if y'all haven't seen it, I do have that video on my channel. It's called Chico Wise Shoots His Chrono. So
How much did you get out of the truck?
I think we've all seen it.
oh yeah.
Well, I mean, he showed us he got the big piece of glass. I'm talking about the bags of money. If you broke into the truck and stole the glass, how many bags of money did you get?
Yeah, I was looking for it. They didn't leave none for me. They just left a truck with a whole bunch of blowed open doors. And I was like,
How in the Sam's hell are you going to mount that in front of the fucking current chrono?
I'm gonna have to figure something out because it's pretty big. It's like a 12 by 8 or something. It's
Well,
huge.
and that shit don't look like it's light. Neither.
Yeah, it ain't.
He'll figure it out.
I gotta find somebody to cut it because all I really want is a little piece this big. So
If you can't shoot a bullet through it, how in the world are you going to cut it? Plasma cut?
Very slowly.
That's what I think it is. It's going to be slow with water.
Just hacksaw that thing.
But you know what? We're talking about the chrono. So I went on their website for my chrono. It's a lot of stuff that can affect the your readings. So cloud cover, sunlight. If it's not level, it's a whole bunch of variables that could throw it off. And they say all chronograph units have an inherent uncertainty when recording velocity. So it's not the gospel. You know what I mean? It kind of puts you in a range of what that projectile will be traveling at. So it's kind of measurable.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason we're trying to go through that is to just get a base of what we're doing, so we know if we're too high, too low, if we can step it up a little more, that kind of thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
So if your feet per second are down, if you're looking for 1,000 and you're getting 980, 987, stuff like that, do you add more powder to your next mix, or is it you crimp it differently, or what's seat the bullet differently, or it could be anything?
I mean, if it's that small amount, I'm not going to worry about it. It'd have to be a decent amount for me to be kind of concerned as to bumping it up.
Yeah, as long as you're in your range, I think that's what's the most important part.
But that would be the first thing you would do. If you were 200 feet slower, you'd go back to the powder mixes so that you're not having enough
Yeah,
powder.
you'd go back, look at your bullet, verify your bullet weight, verify your consistency with your bullets and all that, and then look at adjusting your powder charge a little bit.
There's other ways to increase your velocity too. You can seat your bullet deeper. You can to get more velocity. You can run it out further to get less. But you got to have, particularly in semi-auto pistols, you got to have a cartridge overall length that's going to run and function in the machine.
Yeah. And there's so many different variables out there. That's the thing with it. You know, Chico said it. Clovertax out there talking about the variables. There's a ton of them. The only thing we're trying to do is just get close, so we have a general idea of what's going on. Everything else is all physical signs. So you're looking at the case for high pressure signs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, are you getting any flat primers? You know, various different things like that.
I think what we as hand loaders want and expect of ourselves is consistency. I don't see that as far as if we've got consistency, we can move and adjust to accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wouldn't really call them flaws, Tim. I'd call them, again, we go with variables, but pretty much anything weather related, temperature related, all of that's going to make a huge difference. Where you're at, you know, if you're a higher elevation versus a lower elevation, all of that's going to make a huge difference.
Read G23's comment.
Well, you know, we do have a bunch of illegals coming across, so we could, you know, target practice.
Yeah, I'll tell you the first time I ever, reloaded and took my loads out to the range, I wasn't worried about the chronograph. I was like, you know what, I want to go and make sure these things cycle, make sure they eject, and make sure I can put them on paper. And that was pretty much it. And Pop's question, like, when you add that chronograph, he said that's gonna give you the last piece of the puzzle.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, cool, I understand that. So
the sides of the chronograph are like the very front's got like two alien antennas, and the very back's got like two alien antennas sitting off the end of it, right? And the bullet goes in between that, and somehow whatever radar they're pushing through there is what clocks the speed of the bullet, right? Why wouldn't they have an enclosed, at least on the sides? Probably even beneficial to have it on the top, so there's a lot less external interference. So the cloud cover wouldn't matter. I mean, I get it. You know, a lot more people are going to shoot their chronographs if it's enclosed, but wouldn't that make for a better system?
Well, and they
sensors
do
are.
make shields that go on the top of those rails to help with too much sun, too much overcast, that basically assists in directing the radar in the center of the unit rather than it
Right.
just escaping out the top.
Clovertax nailing it here. The sensors are inside the unit.
mhm.
All those things sticking up they got a little plastic thing to put shade over the top of the sensor, and that's only going to work if the sun is directly above those wires. Those are not antenna. They sense nothing. The sensors are on the inside of the unit. What the unit is doing is timing the time it takes the bullet to go from the front sensor to the rear sensor, and then does a mathematical equation and gives you a velocity. The
Yeah.
best thing to do for that is to put a piece of cardboard all the way across the top of both of those things. Right, Chico?
Yeah. So mine has Clover was right about the antennas. Those are just for the sunshades. So just like Jamie was saying, it's got two, I think they call them photonic sensors. From the projectile passes the first one, and it calculates it from the first one to the second one. And it gives you your feet per second. I tried mine out with a pellet gun and an air rifle before I even took it to live fire, with a firearm. So, and it still was reading, 300-400, feet per second with that. So, and probably Kingpin why they don't make it like super protective because of cost, mainly because it's still at $100, that's still probably a significant price that the average person who doesn't reload is not interested in finding out how fast their
The
velocity.
thing with that the thing with that whole part is they know you're going to shoot it, so
Yeah,
they got to make it somewhat cost effective,
right. Yep.
so they can get you to buy another one when you do shoot it.
Plus, you want it to be light, so it's pretty light. You know, it's a couple pounds in weight.
Well, and you know how to make them lighter.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was going to ask if you regretted going from BB guns to big bang guns.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
and they'll read anything pretty slow too. Like they'll read an arrow going through it as well.
Yep.
Right.
You know, they'll generally go down about 200 feet per second.
And see, that was what was freaking me out that particular 4th of July, because I had ran bolts from my crossbow through that thing and was getting 380 feet per second. And then I take some test loads for a 38 special and Kyle's 44 Magnum, and we're getting 236 feet per second. No, man, it barely made it through there. It fell on the ground right on the other side of the Chrono, literally. No. Yeah, it was too hot, sunny, bright sun, hot. Yeah, man, it had to be that chronograph, that dark green color. There's no telling what the temperature was on the inside of that thing. Probably 130, 140.
Do any of those fancy indoor ranges have chronographs that they like built into some of their lanes?
I'm glad you asked that. There's one particular place that we have shot that has the little iPads, and they show the target, the bullet hitting where the target is, and they give you your velocity at that distance. Like if you're shooting at the 200-yard target, it might say, like, say my 6.5 Creedmoor may be running 2,436 feet per second at 200 yards. That's good to know. And then it also gives you your extreme spread and standard deviation at that particular distance, which is great knowledge to have.
There are some indoor ranges that have stuff like that, but it's not cheap for an indoor range to do. They're an expensive system.
That particular outfit is, yeah. But can you imagine an indoor range running Caldwell chronographs? How many would get shot? Man,
They have other systems out there for indoor ranges, but I've looked at them in the past, and they're really expensive.
well, man, y'all been to indoor ranges. You see bullet holes in the roof. You see sides of the walls shot up, and everything shot up at an indoor range.
If you guys don't know what an indoor range looks like, go watch the video I did a few years back. That'll show you.
That was an awesome video.
I walked it from the one edge to the other edge. I walked front to back. And you guys only saw partially what it was like. Trust me, it was way worse than the camera showed.
Yeah, they are. My local indoor range is it's pretty shot up. If you look at some of my videos, you can see a lot of it. Maybe I'll make a new one and zoom in all the way around everything.
Yeah. And Tactical FUD makes a good point too. There are some companies out there that will take care of you.
I think that's once. But I'm not sure. I don't know.
You got Wes ass picking on Daniel, and Daniel's not even out here. And Daniel could shoot one if he wants to, but he'll have to pay the insurance on it if he does. Always remember, if you leave it with someone else, have insurance. If they shoot it, they owe you money.
Absolutely.
Imagine that, Bernie. Imagine that.
The amount of people I've had to stop from doing dangerous shit inside of an indoor range is unfucking believable.
Oh no, I believe it. We had a guy next to us the other day, man, all dressed up, man, leg strap on his holster, gear everywhere, and was stumbling through everything he did.
I laughed my ass off because not this past weekend, but or not yesterday, but the past weekend, there was a guy there that was with two girls, and I don't know what he was trying to convince them girls he was, but he was wearing some type of airsoft looking body armor vest thing, um, with a drop leg that looked like he was from Star Wars. Like down on his knee, just like flopping around. This big giant nylon look at. I'm just like, wow, really? And just
We had one like that, and he had it wasn't a USMC knife, but it was a big ass knife down the side. Had the tactical holster on his leg, had the regular belt holster, the whole 9 yards, and he carried a fucking high point. And a fucking Uncle Mike's holster.
Kind
The
of like
amount of things I had to stop him teaching people was unbelievable.
it's like when I used to golf. You get somebody coming out to the golf course and they got brand new clubs, brand new bag, brand new shoes, and a brand new golf game. You better step back because there's no telling where the balls are going.
Burnaby,
It's
you ain't wrong, brother. You ain't wrong.
or the
There are some
clubs for
range
that
officers
matter.
that should not be range officers. I've been to too many ranges where range officers are too busy yakking instead of watching the line, which is where you get a lot of problems because if you're not watching, then it's when shit happens.
Yeah, I took my son to a range last week or week before last, and my buddy works there, and so we go in there, and luckily they weren't crowded, so they got two different bays, and one bay was empty. So I first started shooting in the first bay. I was getting ready to fire my first shot, and a guy was in there. He had his son in there. He had a 5.7, a pistol, and he had it pointed at 9 o'clock, so it wasn't pointed down range. So he asked me, he said, because he seen the suppressor on my little 1022, I'm not 1020 TX22, and he said, "Is that a 22?" I said, "Yeah, my son shoots this." And he was like, I walked over to him. He was like, "Yeah." He was showing his son how to shoot an AR, right? And I said, "Hey, man, don't take this the wrong way, but at 5.7 sitting right there, I grabbed it and I turned it 90 degrees down range." I said, "They will put you out of here for that." I said, "I'm kind of just giving you one." And he was like, "But it's unloaded." I said, "They're always loaded." I said, "If you think like that, no accidents will happen." I said, "It can never point. It should always point down range." So I hate public ranges for that reason, because some people take that information well, and some people feel like you're trying to belittle them. And I never try to do that in a range with people's arm, just like I am. You know what I mean?
Yep, and it happens a lot too. As an RSO, when you walk up and talk to someone, they're either receptive and take it well, or they get pissed off because they think they know everything.
Yeah. And that's what I told him. I said, "Man, my brother works at this range." I said, "If he sees you," I said, "he's gonna put you out. I'm just trying to give you a fair warning." He was like, "Okay, I appreciate it." But I've had some people get pissed off when I tell them that. I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm just trying to help you out." Mainly I'm trying to keep myself from getting damn shot. You know what I mean? But it's like,
yeah. Yep.
So
Today, my range consisted of me, one of my very, very good friends, and 3 range officers. And then about an hour in, one other guy showed up, stayed for about 10 minutes on the pistol side, said goodbye to everybody, and then it was just us for another hour.
That's a good day.
Yeah, real good day.
Yeah, it's days like that that I'll typically get like one of the RSOs at least walking up going, "Hey, that's a Shadow 2, right?" I'm like, "Yeah. Can I shoot it?" Yeah, absolutely.
It was today was unique because 2 of the RSOs actually spent time on the pistol side shooting, which normally they don't do till after hours, or they'll come in on days that it's closed because they're not supposed to shoot. And nowadays they won't even like test fire. And if you're like, hey, you want to shoot my new rifle? Pull the trigger once. They're like, no. But today they actually got to hang out and do some shooting.
And one of the big things with that there, because I've had it happen a lot too, is hey, you want to shoot this, blah blah blah. Is if you let someone shoot it, if they're the RSO and you let them shoot that, you're now the RSO while they're on the lane shooting. Watch around you, keep an eye out.
Yeah, the guys at my local state range, they may step on the line if they've got 3 guys working the facility. If they've got 2 guys working the facility, they won't do it. They'll walk the line. One guy will walk the line, and the other guy stays in the booth. But if they don't have 3 guys there, none of them RSOs will step up and fire anything.
The range I belong to, the outdoor range, you are your RSO. You control it. And in turn, there's cameras everywhere, looking at everything. And if anything is damaged, anything happens that is very peculiar, it's looked at, and if you did it, you are reprimanded or ejected from the club. So you practice all of your safety while you're at my outdoor range. Absolutely. They do not tolerate any negligence.
And there are some RSOs out there that are Nazis, so you know, kill them with kindness is what I usually tell you. Kill them with kindness because they'll get pissed off more if you talk nice to them when they're all trying to be dicks.
Well, I ordered a new suppressor.
Nice.
I'm building a little 10.5 inch 300 blackout. So I ordered a Wits Machine Dirty 30. And it's going to be a permanent part of it.
30 caliber, huh?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, building a 300 blackout.
Nice.
Another one. But I'm going to just dedicate this one to being suppressed, shooting subsonics.
Are you going to attempt to e-file your tax stamp, or are you going to do your snail mail?
They're going to e-file it. They're going to do the whole digital route now with the barcoding. My chick Heidi at the suppressor store told me she's seeing roughly 90 to less days turnaround time, averaging 83 days.
Nice.
On approval rate. So I should have it within a few months.
Cool.
You're muted, Alan.
That alone has been a major hindrance for a lot of people, including myself. It's just like, I'm not gonna buy something and maybe a year and a half later I'll get it. Maybe, meh. It's just like, forget it then. I just won't even do it.
I've been hearing they're coming down to like 90 days doing the e-file, so I may end up buying one. with 90 days, I'm okay. I don't want to wait a freaking year and a half.
Well, my first one took almost a year. I mean, it was slow, and if it was denied, I'd have got my money back for it. But being it's 90 days now, the Wits machine, I can pick it up for $260 out the door for the cost of the suppressor, and then you have the 200 tax stamp, so $460 for a nice little permanent hush box on my on my blackout.
Now that whip machine is I remember when they first came out, or when I first started seeing videos of them, they were not advertised as a suppressor. They were advertised as a
sound mitigation device.
Right. And so it didn't, because my coworker got one, it didn't require a tax stamp at first.
No,
well, they have both.
either.
They have the sound mitigation device, and then they have suppressors as well.
Okay. So yeah, that caught my eye.
I believe they started with the 39, and then people were complaining they wanted the 3030. And they had a couple others that they have as well. But the SME is the sound mitigation device that they came out with, which is basically, I don't know if they call it a shroud or not.
Right.
But basically, it directs all the noise forward.
Yeah, it's just a downrange muzzle blast device. I mean, it's got your standard muzzle brake / comp on the front of it, and then the shroud screws on around it. So it's just I've got a downrange sound mitigation brake on my other 300 blackout 16 edge.
What's the difference between a compensator, a muzzle brake, and a flash suppression?
Compensator and muzzle brake are about the same thing. They're going to reduce the amount of rise or side to side movement when you fire. And a flash hider is just that. It's just a bird cage flash hider that only ejects from the top of it. The bottom is solid, so it doesn't disrupt any dirt or dust or any debris.
I see Zeus says he's at 39 days on his e-form, so I'm trying to see how far I'm at. The best thing to do if you go tax stamp route, just forget about it. I mean, like Gene, like my first one almost took a year. It was like 10 months, 305 days or 308 days. So, but after it came out, I was kicking myself, and I said I should have bought 5 of them that same day because I had to wait, so long. But it's definitely fun shooting suppress, man.
I love it.
Oh
So
yeah.
that $200 tax is what's killing me, man.
I get it, Jamie, but with the price of the Wits, being $260, and then the tax stamp, I mean, you're under $500 for a suppressor. And Wits says if it'll screw on, shoot through it. There's no restrictions on it. Full auto, plus P, subsonic, whatever you want to run through it. So if you got one for a 30, you can shoot 22 all the way up to 30 caliber.
Mm-hmm.
So do you only have to buy the tax stamp once?
For each suppressor.
Absolutely.
Yes, just one time, just at the purchase of it.
Yeah. Don't guess I'll be buying a suppressor.
I get it, man. Paying more money to the government when the government's already taking a good chunk of your paycheck and all the rest of it. I get it.
Yeah, I do too. And I waited all that time to get one, and now that I've got one, I love shooting it. Yeah, I mean, it was Chico.
Yep.
You're with me here, man. I mean, after you put it on, and after that wait,
stuff. Yeah.
I've shot the M983 suppressed a few times. The only thing that sucks about shooting suppressed is how freaking dirty it gets. That's
true.
About it.
It's a pro to a con to everything. It's pros and cons to everything. But Jamie shot suppressed when me and him was down at the range day, and when we did, we were shooting 9s and 5.5 and 30 calibers and 44 suppressors. Like, I gotta buy me a suppressor, man. I just have to. It was but I get it about the tax stamp. Here's the thing that nobody really never thinks about, or some people. Back in 1934, when the NFA first started with the $200 tax stamp, that price has not changed from 1934 to the current date. Think of what $200 was back in 1934. It was like, if you do the conversion, it might have been 10 grand. I don't know. So the sort of the good thing is they haven't converted. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Well, because they hadn't, but I mean, they're still lumping, even though you got 0.0001% of any crimes being committed with a suppressor.
Yeah, that's true.
Any crimes. And typically those 0.0001% is guys making their own suppressors and poaching.
Mm-hmm.
They're still lumping all that in with every single major gun bill that they can.
Yep, I'd agree, man. They definitely do that.
It's just like they were talking more gun control, and then magically this week there's been how many shootings? It only ever happens when they keep talking about
it. Was Zeus was out there say he's at 39 days on his e-file. From the time I submitted my e-file, I'm at 92 days. So I don't even know if the ATF has cashed my check yet. I don't know, but I just try to forget about it. So hopefully I'll get it before a year. So
right.
Would you follow that?
Zeus got it calculated. Good gravy. Zeus got it calculated out.
Yep. So yeah. So
and that was back in the day of the Thompson, and when the Thompson came out, it was like 230, 240 to buy a full on Thompson.
So
and that was like unobtainium. That was like unobtainium. And so what the media was trying to project back then was the only people that could afford these things were the gangsters. And that's why the gangsters all had them. What they weren't divulging was that the gangsters had stole them from police armories. That they weren't buying these things, that the criminals were out there freaking stealing these things from police armories.
Well, one of the other big things with the price of it too is they have where the things you want are usually pretty extortionate to begin with. So, you want a full auto, you're talking some money. So, and they do that on purpose because they want to deter people from buying it.
And I'll tell you a main reason for me doing a suppressor, man. So you guys know my son. So he does not like that sonic crack. He does not like that pow, that bang. And when my suppressor was still in jail, luckily my range let me go up there and have conjugal visits. So we went up there, and my son was like, "I want to take it home." I was like, we can't take it home yet. So that's not the only time I can get him to shoot, but that's when he enjoys shooting more, if that makes sense. So so it's got his right. We had some conjugal visits. We had about 2 of them while my suppressor was in jail. So
only 2 in a year?
Well, yeah, I waited 6 months before even going to see it.
We have royalty in the house, gentlemen. Royalty in the house.
Island gal. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, for a suppressor, main reason why I want one is for my house defense gun.
That's what mine is going to be. That's why I'm buying it, dedicating it to it. That's going to be its main role.
Yeah, dude. Hipparchus, what he
Yeah.
says. I don't know how long they last, but I've seen some printed suppressors on YouTube and seen them last. Yeah, don't stay away from those.
Yeah, don't put yourself in a position that could end badly in many different aspects. Don't do it.
Open the door. We want to see some stuff.
Yeah, just don't do it.
You know, for the longest, I had somebody talk me out of it. For the longest, I wanted to form one a suppressor. And if a lot of people don't know about that, that's basically where you make your own suppressor. You go have it engraved. You order the stuff online, submit the paperwork. They come back in like 3 months. But then they started cracking down on those, and I've heard that they can pop up at your house anytime to make sure you're in compliance. I was like, oh no. So if you buy something from a company, a reputable company, they already have the plans, the blueprints or whatever. They know you're not modifying it, or they assume you're not modifying. But if you do a Form 1, which a lot of people do, I just didn't want that. I don't have anything to hide, but I still don't want people popping up, the alphabet boys. I don't have any dogs or anything, but still, feel me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about doing that Form 1 as well, and it was like something just told me, man, just don't do that.
Yeah.
And then all this stuff started hitting.
Yep, they started denying.
It's like, man, I'm glad I didn't do that.
That was probably about 2 years ago that I was thinking about potentially doing one, and y'all know I'd go with something along the CZ line for my serial number or whatever. But yeah, it wasn't long after I was looking at it, something else popped up, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just not feeling it.
Call it intuition. Just like something tells you to stop. That's with anything. Something tells you to stop.
That's it.
Stop.
And with the things that I've seen over the years, it's if I get that feeling, I'm stopping. I'm not taking the risk.
Well, and is it basically you're like giving them authorization to come search anytime they damn well please, because you've already proven that you know how to make this, so we're gonna make it to where we can come search your shit anytime we want to find out, to make sure you're not making these things and selling them at yard sales.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I mean, you got to be careful. There's all kinds of different little things out there to where they can come to your door. And it's not just with suppressors or Form 1s and other. There's some other things out there. You got to be careful when it comes to how you purchase.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. It's a channel I follow. I forgot, it's a diesel channel. The guy, he does a lot of diesel work, and he ordered a whole bunch of oil filters, like 30 oil filters. I'm talking about 3-4 years ago, and the ATF popped up at his door, and he was like, "Well, I can show you, all the work I do," and but they came with the people in full gear and was like, "Hey, yeah, we need to talk to you about your Amazon account." It's like, okay, how y'all getting on my Amazon? Like, it's a red flag, I guess, if you purchase X amount or something. So,
Yep.
Be careful.
They have
with
a lot of different things set up to where it's flagged, and
yep. There you go, Hipparchus. It's a trap. Don't buy no oil filters. That's why I don't do no oil changes on the side.
you gotta be careful, man. Always watch your six. All right, Alan, you want to go through the side chat, man? It's been a minute. It's hopping out there pretty good considering the weekend it is.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's hopping over there. According to the YouTube participants list, Bald and Curious, Hippocrates, I swear I'm never gonna get that right. SD Mountain Man, Terrence Smith's Kitchen, Thoughts of an Old Soldier, Tim S, Zeus, he say, we had Island Girl 57, Mark Thomas, Wes S, Daniel, God is my judge, Rich White, And it's been banging out there tonight. Idaho Rogers. G23 is still not here. Just shh. She
Still
quit
working.
squirrel. He quit squirrel.
All right, so Mr. 45 Colt, you said you're considering a rifle. So what rifle are you thinking of now?
I don't know. You got any good suggestions?
I would go with a Henry.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, no. Depends on the fundage when I'm looking at it. What I see when I go out.
Yeah, and depending on what you're looking at, let me know. I'll look around, see what I can find for you.
Yeah, definitely keep an eye out for me, please. Plus, I'll stop over to my Blackwing shooting center, and Blackwing's got a huge long gun room with everything in it. So, and I know I've seen some over there. Just look at some different ones. Keep it a good thought.
Right. Yep.
I think it'd be nice to have a real Winchester, but those are so pricey now. They're made in Japan by Morocco.
Yeah.
Next down,
you're talking some cash money right there.
yeah, nowadays especially. And then next down would be Marlin, if you can find a Marlin with a JM stamp. And Henry's going to be right in there. The thing about what Marlins and Henrys work the same way on the inside. Basically, Henry took Marlin's design, and that's how they work. Are the parts interchangeable? No, they're not. But then the next one down would be your Rossi 92s, which Chico has two of them. I have one of them. And of course, I have the two Marlin lever guns and 35 Remington and 30-30. But for a pistol caliber carbine, the Rossi 92 is just so light and quick handling. It's really neat. And I've not had any trouble with mine. I don't think Chico's had any trouble with his. But yeah, those Henrys are a little bit heavier than the Rossies. And I think the Marlins are about the same weight, maybe a little bit lighter. But Henry makes a fine gun. They do.
Made in the USA.
Or it's
And
not.
one of the big things you got to decide what you want to do is if you want a side gate or a top load.
I'd want a side gate.
So
It ain't a cowboy gun.
On the Marlin or the Rossi if you want a side gate.
It ain't no cowboy gun if it ain't got a side gate.
Yeah, I want a side gate.
Well, Henry's making them now with side gates, so you can have a Henry with a side gate if you're willing to wait and find what you want. But they do still come, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. But the Henrys with the side gate still have the option of loading it in the tube,
Yep,
which
absolutely.
is great. Which is great for somebody that hunts. Think about it. You got your magazine full. You got one in the chamber. You come down out of your tree stand. You're back at the truck. You're unloading, and you got to sit there and run everything out the magazine with the lever. Whereas with the Henry, you unscrew the top, dump them out, run the lever one time, put the tube back in. You're ready to go to the house.
Yep.
It makes a lot more sense. I think I got 2 days off this week. I'm probably going to do some bugging around, see what we run into.
What are you looking for, Gene?
45 Colt rifle, lever action,
Yeah.
to match my pistol.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I don't know if I've ever said this. I could be wrong, and it could be some, and Jamie might know, it could be some functionality issues with it. I wish like the dang 22 Henry had a side gate. That's just how I am. That's how I would like it to be. It might be an issue with it maybe bending the round or something. I don't know.
Generally with a 22, and you'll see it in some bolt guns and stuff too is the nose of the bullet and how it feeds.
Right. That's what I
Reject-
figured. It had to be
They
something.
get a lot of problems. So I
Yeah.
think you'd see quite a few issues here and there.
But my Henry, I love the little 22. It's awesome.
I love shooting 22s as well. I like a little bit of everything. But this revolver land, man, this is different for me. You know, I've owned 2 other revolvers, the Smith & Wesson lightweight 38 special, and then a 357, and I didn't hold on to them. But this one's intriguing me. I don't know why.
It's a nice round, man. It really is. It's a nice round, and I think you get you a nice rifle, you'll be pretty stoked about it.
It's the history, the mystique, and the romance of the Old West.
Yeah.
There's still a little bit of cowboy in every American man.
Well, after a little homework on it, you know, I bought the 1873 model because that's the year that the 45 Colt went into production. It was designed in 72 and actually went into production in 73.
Yeah, those gallery guns. I see Garage Guy and Big Al out there was talking about they have those 22s. Those gallery guns, man, they're fun to shoot in 22. Either the pump or the little action.
Carter's little lever action you let me shoot, Chico. That thing was fun, man.
Oh yeah, I mean I take that almost out, and he likes shooting it. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to turn him on to the 357 one day. Good thing about that, I can load it down with the 38. So that's the benefits of being a reloader. Hey, look, one thing for y'all reloaders out there. This stuff is normally like $3 a bottle. Walmart has it a 4-pack for $4. So if y'all don't know what we use this for, it's for case lube. So
I use that for a little bit of everything. I got a couple bottles of that hanging around the house.
yeah, you know, definitely use it for your, you know, your small engines. But you know, a lot of people use this if they don't want to purchase the what is it, Jamie? What's the alcohol called?
Hell,
Isopropyl.
I've been in Hot Pot's house. He's got a bottle of that on the nightstand next to the bed.
No, the question is, well, no, we don't want to know why you were next to his bed.
Shall
like,
never
say
know.
less. Say less.
Back on topic.
Isopropyl.
Isopropyl.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta have at least 90% if you're going to do case lube with it, because too much water in it. If not.
Yeah, this right here, you know, it's 2 of them. It's a blue one and a red one. The red one is the one to use, not the blue one.
Right.
The red is 99% alcohol.
Yeah.
Where isopropyl alcohol only goes to 91%. That's the highest level of it. So then you got 9% water in there, which I've tried to mix 91 with my lanolin to make case lube, and it just clots up because of the water, because of that 9% water in there.
It ain't gonna work with that 70% at all.
No. Have you a mess.
Don't even try it, guys. But I use that heat, the red bottle heat. Is what I use. But back on topic, a couple of comments out there that caught my interest. Way back, Idaho Rogers USMC said the original Henry was tube fed. So the model 1860 Henry was a tube fed. It didn't have a loading gate on the side. And Thoughts of an Old Soldier said that he would like a Schofield. Well, the Schofield is a wonderful thing and a wonderful thought and a wonderful design. It just lacked execution, and it lacked decent procurement people and logistics people in the United States Army at the time to keep it from becoming the official sidearm for the cavalry. You think about it, it's a perfect design for cavalry, but You can't put 45 Colt in the 45 Schofield.
But you can put Schofield in a Colt.
Exactly, but you can't go the other way around. So when you got a regiment out there that's units out there with Schofields, and all you got is 45 long Colts, you got a problem.
Somebody better paid attention to handing the ammo out.
Or sending it where it needed to go was the problem. I would have solved that problem by just buying Schofield ammo and be done with it.
Frozen and Fury, thanks for stopping by with a thumbs up. Frozen Fury.
The Russian army had bought at least 2,000 of them, old soldier, but they were chambered in 44 Russian, unless I'm mistaken.
So James Pollard has a comment out there. I'm curious. Do anybody else have a collector's edition, anything that they're not willing to shoot? James, you sure you don't want me to shoot that thing? I can break it in for you. He said he's got a 44. What is that? Where did it go?
See if I can find it. Hold on.
Henry 44 Mag Tribute to America rifle. It's a collector's edition. Too pretty to shoot. Man, we can dirty that thing up.
There's nothing too pretty to shoot.
Nope.
Even if I ever am able to pick up my 29-1, I will go out and I will shoot it. I'll shoot everything.
Yeah, I acquired a 1911 made in 1913 with a 5-digit serial number, and we shot it the day I got it.
I'm sure it was good and broken in, so why not?
Oh yeah, it was. I mean, you could shake it and you hear it just rattled big time, man.
Nice, man. You should do it. I want to see it, man.
Our local Smith & Wesson show is coming up again here soon. I think it's in May. So hopefully we'll have some good stuff there and I can potentially pick something up.
I saw an interesting gun this weekend I've been meaning to ask you about this past week. Well, yesterday, as a matter of fact. Let me just ask you about it now. It's a Smith & Wesson pre-Model 10 snub nose in 38, obviously. So Model 10, pre-Model 10. And it's nickel plated and it's got a real shiny finish on the handles, on the grips. And they've got a price tag of $500 on it, but it looks like it's too shiny, man. You know,
So here's the thing with a 2-inch nickel plated, depending on exactly kind of where it falls as far as year and stuff like that and what's on it, if it's a 4-screw or 3-screw, 5-screw. There's a lot of factors in play there, and 2-inch is rarer. Nickel plated 2-inch is rare. So $500, something's off. Something ain't right there. Whether it was originally nickel plated or if it came out and was nickel plated, something's off.
Yeah, it looks funny. You know what I mean? It just looks. And it's like what you were saying earlier. Something makes you feel uneasy inside. You probably need to steer away from it.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, something like that, I would have to physically see it, go through it take the grips off, the whole 9 yards before I would even consider it.
I'm pretty sure it's either shot out or it's been done after the fact. The finish ain't like the nickel finish was added later. The stocks have been
And you
refinished.
can tell that pretty quick if
Yeah.
you look at the frame and you look inside. Um, if you look on the cylinder, there'll be a mark on there. There'll be an N or a star. If there's any other letters or anything like that, somewhere along the line it's been sent back for some kind of repair or something. But at that kind of price, that doesn't sound right. Something's definitely off.
That sounds like a nice one, Lead Bullet Junkie 57 no dash.
Oh yeah, there you go. 57 still on the list at some point.
Now, is that a 45 Colt?
That's a 41 mag.
41 mag. Yeah.
Which I do have some brass. I got a coffee can of brass on that one.
There is stacks of 41 mag ammo at a gun store outside of where I live.
It's an underrated round, man. 41 mag is awesome.
Oh man, I enjoyed shooting treads, treads dads or whatever when we was at the Dead Zero. That thing was nice.
I've shot a fair amount of 41 mag, and it's just the control factor on it versus the power factor and what you're getting out of it. It's just an all-around excellent cartridge.
That's what I've been saying for years. It's overlooked and underrated. I know where one is that a boy got for Christmas a few years back, and I wonder if he's even shooting it because it's a Black Hawk single action. And I wonder if I might trade him out of that for something.
Don't know unless you try.
Right?
I know, man.
Well, if you do, let me know. You can have the brass until I pick something up because it's going to be a while for me. So that brass is there if you pick something up and you need it.
I'm just thinking out loud. They also had at my local gun store. They had a Model 60 3-inch barrel, and I think it was nearly $800. But they're up to a -15 on those things now.
At that price, it's way too high.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll come down.
Yeah, especially if that's a used. If that's new, you're looking. I wouldn't go over 6.
It's brand new. It's brand new, but it's already got a ring around the cylinder.
I wouldn't go over 6, and that's probably someone playing around with it at the store and screwing it up.
Oh yeah, I was talking with Rebel last night, and I was telling him about it. He said, "Man, that's why I put a zip tie on mine, so people looking at them can't do that."
Yep. 41 mag is highly underrated, and it's an excellent round.
Now, are those only in revolver, or did they make a rifle 41 mag also?
They do, but they're very rare.
Okay.
Marlin made some back in the day. You may look up and find a Henry with one in that caliber. I know Henry will occasionally make a 4440 lever gun. Hey, Ocean, what's happening, buddy? Hope you had a good Easter.
There you go. Usually, it's the other way around for me. Usually, I'll find the brass first, and then I buy the gun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's how it works with me.
And you know what? Scotsman's not telling a lie, man. When some years back, man, I ended up buying some stuff, some Dylan stuff, and I told the guy he had some 308 brass and it was primed, and I was like, I'll give you that if you throw in that brass. And he was like, okay. He didn't know nothing about reloading or whatever. He was just trying to get off the stuff. He took it in on a price swap. The guy owed him some money, and it was 500 or 499 pieces of 308 brass primed, and I was like, I gotta buy a 308, and that's exactly how it happened.
Yep, it's happened to me a couple times now.
Well, I got a scenario for y'all. I hate this. Think about this. You got a rifle. You're wanting to shoot 1,000 yards. You're wanting to do some long distance load development, and you can find brass, but you really want to do well because you're shooting with your friends, right? And so you pony up and buy 100 pieces of Lapua brass, right? And you're processing this brass and you screw one of them up. You're one short. That case you bought for 100 rounds of 6.5 Creedmoor or whatever the caliber, there's one short. Man, you gotta hate that. What do? Do you substitute a Winchester for it? No, you can't do that. Man.
I did notice though, with all the 45 brass I have, the Hornaday is shorter.
Yes, sir.
Yep, absolutely.
So in the Starline, the Winchester, it's all the same length.
Yep. The walk with Al out there. Good to see you, buddy. If you guys don't know who he is, he's someone that Mark Thomas turned me on to last week, I think it was, and he's a big revolver guy too. So
nice to meet you, Walt, with Al. I have to check you out. No, Daniel, you can't do that, man. Paying $1 a piece for those things is absolutely ludicrous. Call Lapua and ask for one piece of brass. Yeah, see how far that gets you. My solution was not to buy Lapua brass, just to buy the Starline. So you mess one of them up, you still got 99 35-cent pieces of brass rather than 40-cent pieces of brass rather than $1 a piece. I know I sound like a cheapskate, but hey, man, that's why we reload, right?
that's why we pick up brass at the range.
Absolutely.
Hoping
We don't
you're
care.
going-
We pick it all up. We don't matter what it is. We pick it up, or at least I do.
Yep. Oh yeah. Remember you guys remember the videos of Willie out there, man. Willie's freaking hopping around, just grabbing whatever he can find.
Brass is brass.
Don't judge me, but I keep a bucket in the trunk and a set of knee pads.
Yeah, the guy that comes to our range, and y'all have seen me have a conflict with this particular individual. He just brings one of those, a dustpan and a broom, the dustpan with the stick that comes up like this, and he's just walking around like this, sweeping up everybody's brass. I'm like, hey man, my brass ain't even stopped rolling yet. I want my brass. He said, hey, if it hits the floor, it's mine. I'm like, hell no, it ain't, bud. You didn't put the work in that. I did. Yeah, and it degenerated from there. But luckily, nobody was bleeding. No shots were fired. So cooler heads prevailed.
Yep.
So you took a bigger stick than he had to him.
No, I. That's tough, man. We call them range goblins.
Old soldier, it's always good to have you, brother. You're
Yes,
always
sir.
more than welcome to be here. You're always more than welcome to come on too, man. If you want on, just let me know.
Yeah, most definitely. Idaho Roger says my brass picker is named Pam, and she's good at it. Mine's named Mrs. Hotshot, and she's pretty good at picking up all the brass too.
See, here's the thing. Idaho's saying that, but Pam ain't around.
Well, Mrs. Hotshot's sitting right behind me, and she said I like shiny things. So
There you go, Redbird. That stuff keeps going up, man. It ain't getting no cheaper. And the 284, I'm not familiar with. Uh, that's what all these, well, like Eric Cortina and all those guys, they're shooting that 284 Lapua. I don't even know what that is, but I need to do some research and find out.
There you go. Lead Bullet Junkies putting the kids to work. That's exactly it, brother. Put them to work.
Oh yeah, I definitely Carter has to earn that iPad time, bro. When we went to the range, I was like, pick that brass up. Me and him was in the bay by ourselves. I was like, pick all that up. Just pick it up. Yeah, you definitely got to do it, man. He likes to shoot, bro. So
if I'm at the indoor range, it's like we got those rubber floor scrapers, those water movers. I
squeegee.
take that, I stretch that out into the bay where my stall's at, and scrape all that back in.
Kingpin.
Look, Alan, did you ever? I know at one time, like everybody else, you were lacking primers. Did you ever come across any or find any?
I've come across a few here and there. Redbird gifted me a case of primers.
Nice.
Gave me a little brick of primers for my upcoming getting older day.
Okay.
And so that's helped out a lot. That's helped out a lot in my my rifle endeavor.
Okay.
Right at the moment, still doing semi all right on small pistol primer, large pistol primer. But yeah, it's still slim pickings around my area for looking not only for powder but for primers.
I think I'm very soon about to do probably my next. I probably got a match this week, and I think I'm gonna load up my pistol rounds with small rifle because they will work. But a lot of people, that venture is a little touchy to some people. Some people say no, don't do it. It's like it works fine.
Well, they tend to work better with a hammer fired pistol versus a striker fired.
Striker fired, right? So, but yeah, it's definitely that they're the same size, same dimensions. The cups might be a little harder, but then again, I've heard that they may not be. So it just, but I think I'm probably gonna load some up with some small rifle and try a couple mags this week sometime. I may put it on video if I get time. It sucks though. You're right, Alan. It sucks. It's slim pickings, and if you do find something that's outrageously priced, I'm not willing to give my left testicle for a couple bricks of primers. I need that.
So
I've positively paid more than I ever would have before, just to get a hold of some. Simply because I started reloading rifle after shit hit the fan. So I was not prepared for being able to reload rifle at all.
To answer your question, Al, yes, they did on some, but there's not a whole lot of them out there.
What's up, Mario?
I'd be kind of cautious as to what it's on, just to verify that it's right. There's a lot of, unfortunately, depending on where you got it from, there's a lot of people out there that will add things on in order to try and increase the value when it's not right.
Yep, absolutely.
There's Water the Field. Good to see you, brother. Mario.
I think we've all had some family around today.
No, this is my family time right here. So.
Mine too.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something, James. I can't. Yeah, I just can't let this guy walk away with all the brass that we worked so hard to reprocess.
Well, it's just like most of all the. I got a bunch of mounts I got to put on for all my ARs and stuff, so that I'm not having to walk around trying to find it all.
That one that Insight did a review on, I bought one of those, and it's got two mounts with it, so you can use it on two different ARs.
Yeah, I saw him. I saw him on sale one day. I forget what they were, like $6 or something like that. So I just bought a bunch of them.
I've got one for my AR. I'll tell you what, though, 10mm brass, man, that's hard to keep track of.
Yeah, that ain't no joke. My Rock Island just throws that brass, and I mean, trying to recover that brass, it's so. I'm lucky if I get 10% of my brass back at the end of the day with that thing.
I get more than that, but I mean, if it hits the weed, if it hits the weeds, it's gone, man. The ground sucks it up.
For rifles, can't you pretty much just make your own brass catcher?
Well, if you pay her enough, I guess she could run around and try to scoop it for you.
No, the problem with making your own brass catcher is you have to wait 9 months before they come out of the womb, and like 7 or 8 years before they're quick enough to catch the brass before it hits the ground.
Hey, you're getting soft on me, man. Those babies should be catching brass straight from the hospital. Like the labor and delivery room should be at the range. Women are soft these days. Babies are soft these days.
Very true.
I know, you just can't live here rent free. You got a job to do, get on it. I had you for one reason, catch brass.
So yes, talking to that, for example, yesterday my landlord was over, and it looked like he needed to let off some steam, so I let him load 100 rounds up on the Dillon, got him outside, got him picking the brass up when he was done shooting.
And then I hope he gave you like $200 off the rent.
Cover the cost of the primers.
It's like, wait, man, this is match grade ammo, but you can't buy this anywhere.
Right. I made him work for it.
I want to go ahead and spend a bunch of people's money, and it's probably going to end up being a bad idea. But you know what you should do, Scotsman? And it also depends on what kind of line of work you're in. I'm not really interested in you saying that on the air or anything. But you should build a house on Daniel's property and just move there.
That's actually a great idea.
Hey, a tiny home would work. Just something in the corner of the yard. You don't need much. I mean, look, you just need a place to sleep and shoot.
That's it. Heck, I can
No,
sleep. I can use a tent. I don't even need to build a house. I'm good with a tent.
No, just one little tiny
no.
house, like
Scotsmen don't sleep anyway. His ass don't sleep
I
anyway.
don't.
You just give him somewhere to reload, and he'll be good.
Yep. It's true. Very true. Sleep when I'm dead.
Yeah, I've seen those tarp things. The tarp idea seems to work good, GGW.
Yeah. If you're gonna do a tarp, make sure you get a big tarp. Uh,
Yeah.
I usually have a 20-foot tarp if I'm going out. Like if I go to Art and Axe's range, I'll take a 20-foot tarp with me. Yeah. We've used it at Daniel's before too, but Daniel's got all the gravel and stuff now and all that stuff, so it's not super hard to find it versus what it was.
Depending on where you're shooting at, because I go back to my private range, if you want to call it that, back in the woods, and I'll set up tarps and lay like old drop cloths down and stuff like that because I don't want to leave stuff in back in the woods. But if you guys got like A&A's range, for example, just take some painter's plastic from Walmart or Sherwin-Williams or wherever the cheapest place you can find at Home Depot and stretch that stuff out. Only a few rounds will be hot enough to burn through the plastic, and if that's a concern, you can always bump up the thickness of the plastic. You'll pay a few pennies more for it, but it's reusable over and over and over again. You can ball it up and throw it in a trash bag and throw it in the back of the truck.
Yeah. No, I mean the tarps are pretty cheap, depending on what kind of tarp you get, but they're generally pretty cheap.
Yeah. Tarps are too heavy for me to carry back in the woods. I just carry a box of plastic.
Like at Daniel's, I'll just drive down wherever. Same thing with A&A's range. You can pretty much drive out all the way out there, pretty much. So
Well,
there's not a lot. There's not a lot of holes.
I've contemplated getting a brass catcher, um, specifically to put on the black rifle. The main problem that I have is all the top Picatinny is almost covered. And so everything out there in the market is almost all mounted off the top Picatinny, and there's no real estate there to work with. In between having the rear sight, the flip to side, and the red dot on there, there's like one bar that's open between the flip to side magnifier and the red dot. Now I've seen other ones that are just Velcro strapped, and I'm going that covers the entire side of the rifle. I still want to be able to look at the bolt if I need to, more or less look at the side of the rifle. I don't want to have to snake my hand in behind a brass catcher in order to be able to get to the trigger. So I haven't found anything that will really work for this particular rifle.
You just need to get you a Daniel that can stand there.
Yeah, I've got the one with the Velcro strap. I don't care for it.
My thing with that is, number one, most of those ones are usually China made, and number two, I don't know how much weight they can really hold before they start to kind of pull.
Slip. Yep. I've had that happen before.
They hold about 3 rounds before they fall off. I had one.
Yeah. Plus the violent recoil, if that makes sense. You know, the recoil of the gun, it makes it, if it's not super tight, it's definitely.
Yeah.
Idaho's getting us in all kind of trouble, man. Earlier he was talking about hunting an egg-laying rabbit. Now he's telling us to use our wife's favorite bed sheets to catch our brass at the range.
He's only saying that because Pam ain't out there.
Right.
You know, if Pam was there, that wouldn't be anything you'd be talking about.
And I think she must be off on Friday nights and work on Sunday nights because he wouldn't be talking that trash on Friday nights. She'd catch him. She'd catch him.
I just put a link. G-Webs, Gun Websites, did a video from SHOT Show about this little vacuum type of broom that's designed for outdoor ranges to pick up brass. So check out that link right there, and maybe you guys could be. None of us are getting paid by that kind of. It's just something you happen to see at SHOT Show. So check out that link. It looked like a really pretty cool deal to me, but when I shoot outside, I pick up pretty much after every round, and then the range that I go to has got concrete floors, so I can just sweep my own brass real easy. But check out that link, and that might be the answers to some of your picking up brass in grassy areas.
Good deal.
Ghost Riders out there, what's happening, brother?
So we did have a question out there earlier asking about availability of other reload components, not just primers. I think it was Kyle. And so far, like up this way, it's not been too bad as far as powder and stuff. But you know, you're gonna pay for it.
Yeah,
But most of the places here are still limiting you to 1 pound or one of the big jugs.
yeah, and powder seems to be settling in about $40 to $50 a pound now, and the primers are right now, if you can find them, are at least $100 a thousand, which is too much.
Yeah.
I bought 4 pounds at my local gun store. And guy said, "Why don't you take those last 2 as well, man?" And I was like, "No, I'm gonna leave them for somebody else, man. I'm not gonna take everything here."
Right. Yeah, try to consider others, especially. You know, it's definitely hard times, but you know, we all try to help each other out. Don't buy up the entire store.
Yeah, he had 4 pounds of tight group, and I took 2 of them.
Yeah.
I left the other 2 on the shelf. Well, what about it? No. Another reloader might come in here and want that too. Be looking for it.
Yeah.
I'll take half.
I had one guy last time I was at the store when I was down seeing Daniel. One guy was asking me what I was looking for, and I just told him I was just browsing. I wasn't looking for anything specific. But there was he pointed out some primers to me, and I'm like, no, I'm not looking for those. I'm good on those. But he pointed them out because there wasn't many left. I'll try to help each other out, man.
Yep, absolutely. One thing I'll tell you, who was asking about powder, if you can't find it locally, so like I'll say the big 2 stores, Midway and Brownells, so they have limits on their powder of the same type. Normally it's 2 or 1 pound, but if you're gonna pay a hazmat, try to buy all the powder that you can if it's useful to you. So like one time I purchased some Accurate number 9 from them and purchased some something else that would work, because you're gonna pay the hazmat regardless, so you might as well try something else. And it might be something that powder that you never thought of. It might be something that might work, in your favor.
Yep. I picked up a pound Lever Revolution when I was out there last time. I forget how much it was. It wasn't terrible. Yeah, it was more than usual, but it wasn't terrible.
Right.
I tell you, brother, I'm not impressed with that powder. I was expecting so much better than what I got out of it.
What caliber do you use it in?
I'm not through with it either. 35 Remington.
Okay. I'm going to try it 30-30 and possibly a couple others, but
I'm going to try it in 30-30 and maybe even some 350 Legend or 357 Magnum.
That's what I want to use it with, because I purchased a pound of it not too long ago.
Yeah. One thing to remember, guys, most of us are all on Instagram and that as well. You can check us out over there.
Don't check me out on Instagram because I haven't done anything. So
Oh, you got one post up there, man.
If we're gonna do plugs, I'm gonna go ahead and hit Defense Dad right there. Him and Travis P11 have got Thunder on the Prairie 2022 coming up. It's going to be their first annual, hopefully not the last. Some people have called it a creator summer. They call it basically what they're looking for is people from YouTube that we hang out with. Even some people, if you don't hang out with us and they want to come spend a day at the range, do some shooting, and they prefer to have people who make videos because of the potential for everybody to be on camera. They don't want somebody who's like, oh, I don't want to be on camera when everybody's going to be filming, that kind of thing.
Yep.
But get with Defense Dad. That go to follow the link on his channel, and they've got all kinds of good companies jumping in to do giveaways. The swag is building up, and that's going to be in June in Nebraska. So if you live near Nebraska, get over there. If you don't, quit your job and go over there.
It's a cool deal, though. I saw one of the videos they were talking about. There's a lot of companies involved, so it should be pretty good. Should be pretty cool.
And this is what I'm talking about real quick. Travis P11's got about 40,000 subscribers. I've been subscribed to Travis since he had about 800 subscribers, and he's the exact same person every single day since then. Defense Dad just went over 1,000 subscribers, so these are what small channels. More importantly, this is our group of friends doing big things. So if you can't make it, at least spread the word and try to get some people there to help them, because that's what's going to, just like the primer situation and everything else, the answer is going to come from us.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I hit a goal. I hit a goal last month. I didn't think it was ever going to be obtainable, but it was. I hit a goal last month of exactly 0 subscribers adding to my channel. Not a single person subbed up. Thank you. Thank you. I never thought it'd be real. I never thought I'd be able to achieve it.
I got 4 new subscribers.
That's all right, man. I lost like 18 or something like that. It's all good.
I posted mine after Alan posted that. I posted a screenshot of mine.
So I didn't realize it, but you get that email from YouTube. I got 4 new subscribers and 960 something more views, and I only put out 1 video. So I know 900 and something people didn't watch that 1 video.
Okay. G23, we got to get Alan to 1,000 subscribers, and Jen will come out. You got to get him to 1,000. So get him over that hump.
Yeah, Kingpin, you need to remind me to plug, and Scotsman too, on Friday night. Plug that shootout in Nebraska. I wish I could go. I really do, but I do have a job and I can't afford to quit it yet. But I'll be retired soon.
It's in Nebraska. What do you shoot? There's nothing in Nebraska.
Well, I'm just gonna say there's nothing there, but you got to have plenty of land to shoot on in Nebraska. You can easily get a 1,000-yard range out there.
Easily. I mean, Nebraska is like one of the places in the U.S. where you can see the curvature of the earth.
Yeah.
I've driven through Nebraska twice, and I will tell you it is the most boring drive I've ever had in my life.
Wow. Ocean 374 said he bought some accurate 5744 and he likes that. If you like that, you'll like Shooter's World Buffalo Rifle, which is the exact same thing. It's the exact same powder.
I don't see Shooter's World around where I'm at any of the gun stores. And I make when I go out on a day, I make a wide sweep. And I never see any this way.
Last time I seen it was on Midway. And so I would say if y'all looking for the Shooter's World, set your alerts. If y'all familiar, set your alerts for Midway or Brownells. Because normally when they get it, sometimes I've seen the pounds and the 8 pounds. That's good stuff though. All Shooters World powder.
Yeah, you gotta keep an eye out for those alerts. That's when you'll have the opportunity. They don't come around too often. But we're getting close to the end here, so we'll start going through the room. Chico, what's going on with you, brother?
Man, I got a 2-gun match this Thursday coming up, so hopefully I'll get some footage. I gotta clear this phone so I could be able to film with my lid cam and all of that. I'm enjoying the 2-gun. It's like USPSA, but also using a rifle. So that's what I'm be doing. I'm not much on the loading. I got some casting. I'll try to put some videos out, and that's it, bro. Appreciate the link. I'm glad I can jump on here. I ain't been on here in a while. So
No, absolutely, man. Absolute pleasure to have you, and you're always welcome, man. So definitely good to have you on.
yes, sir.
Mr. 45 Colt.
Pew pew. Oh, thanks for having me on, Scotsman. Appreciate it very much. Great panel, great side chat. Happy Easter to everybody. This week I've got a little mini 3-gun match to run on Thursday and IDPA on Saturday. So going to be busy making sure everything's ready and good to go.
Awesome. Good deal. Kingpin?
Good night, everybody.
All right. Short and sweet. Jamie, what you got, brother?
Just the live stream on Friday nights, Georgia Shooting Connection channel. Join us if you can. I've got to do a shotgun loading video. I've been wanting to do some turkey loads of number 2 shot, but I've been real busy, and I'll be busy all this coming week too. But hope y'all check us out on Friday nights. Thank y'all for having me, Scotsman. Thanks for inviting me, and I always enjoy hanging out with you guys on Sunday night. And thoughts of an old soldier. Good night, Mary Ellen.
All right. Good deal, brother. Now, we had an excellent chat. Lots of good conversation. Side chat was absolutely rocking it out there. And Tim Ash, thank you, man, for taking care of all the links. You've been rocking it. I appreciate that very much. And I hope everyone had a great weekend, Easter weekend. Remember what it's all about. And with that being said, I'm going to throw it over to Alan to take us out.
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely phenomenal, man. Great to have the panel that we've had tonight. It's been a minute since you've been on, Chico. Yeah. Thank you, Gene. Thank you, everybody. Side chat's just been blowing up again. Just thank you, everybody, for that. I did have 247 minutes of video filmed, and then I got sidetracked picking up brass, and I don't know what I did with it. So you may not see a video out of me because this week I'm going to be doing everything I can to make my abode doable for other people to even witness. Maybe. Nevertheless, as always, keep the magazines loaded and one in the chamber.